Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. My name is Wendy Hewitson, and I'm the Agri-Tech Programme Manager for Barclays Eagle Labs. So I hope you've been enjoying the series of events we've been doing under the banner of the Agri-Food funding landscape. So to follow on from our previous sessions, where we've talked to guest speakers from companies such as Innovate UK, TBAT Innovations, and Angel Groups, we have chatted through sort of funding calls, principles of bid writing, pitching, and valuable business support. But today, we're looking at agri-funding, what's on the horizon. So in these short on-demand sessions, we're going to be joined by Helen Sweeney, who is the Sustainable Agriculture and Bioeconomy Lead for Horizon Europe. So what's she going to talk about? She's going to tell us all about what's involved in applying for the Horizon 22 funding. And that will highlight what support is available through the process. And that's including things such as the overview of the pillars and key clusters, the funding calls, and also how to build a consortium. Now, as with all our events, I must do a short mandatory disclaimer. So we have asked Helen Sweeney to join us today to provide her professional views on what the Horizon Europe funding calls will look like for 2022. So the topics discussed are an overview of options for you to think about to help you with your independent research and business decisions. So they are not intended as recommendations or advice. Please also remember as well that your business has its own individual circumstances, so the statements and views expressed may not be applicable or suitable for your business. So without further ado, let's welcome Helen Sweeney onto stage.
Thanks, Wendy, for your introduction. It's my pleasure to give an overview of Horizon Europe funding and to look at the opportunities for participation in this competitive and collaborative European funding programme. I'm Helen Sweeney, as Wendy has already said, and I'm one of the 3 national contact points looking after Horizon Europe Cluster 6 in the UK. So, what is Horizon Europe? Well, it's a framework programme which has been put together by the European Commission and the European Union, which financially supports research and innovation across all sectors in Europe. So these framework programmes have been running since 1984, and we're currently looking at the 9th programme, which is called Horizon Europe, and it is the successor programme to Horizon 2020. Now, despite having exited the EU, the UK has agreed with the Commission to associate to Horizon Europe, which will give us equivalent access rights for participation. It's the same as those as we enjoyed as a member state. So we can still lead and we can still influence these key collaborative projects, working with at least 3 European partners. Now, the budget that you can see there, that huge 95.5 billion euros, is an enormous amount of money and is guaranteed for the lifetime of the programme. So the work programme, or Horizon Europe, is divided into 2-year slots, which are called work programmes. And the 2021-2022 work programme was published in June of this year. So we'll work through and see how we can sort of look at what is applicable to the agri-food sector. The work programmes are describe in detail the specific challenges and scopes and expected impacts and required actions that need to be put together as part of a proposal. So we shall go through that. So looking at the structure of Horizon Europe, I thought it might be useful just to give a little bit of context about how this all fits together. So the first pillar on the left is excellent science, and that really revolves around the European Research Council and the Marie Sklodowska-Curie programme, which look at sort of fundamental research and mainly focus on individual researchers. Pillar 3 on the right-hand side supports entrepreneurs and launches breakthrough innovation by attracting scalable companies, encouraging co-investment between public and private investors. But the pillar that I focus on is Pillar 2 in the middle, which deals with global challenges and European industrial competitiveness. Now you can see here that the pillar is then subdivided into clusters or sectors, and some of them are grouped together, such as digital industry and space, climate, energy and mobility. So you can see all the research and innovation sits within these different sectoral clusters. Now at the bottom we have cluster 6, which is food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment. And it's this one that I'll be focusing on because this is where the most opportunities lie for the agri-food sector. And you can see the budgets which are aligned to that. So we have 8.95 billion euros for this cluster over the lifetime of the programme. So moving on. So the cluster, as I've said, the food, bioeconomy, natural resources, agriculture and environment, which I'll just call cluster 6 from now on because it's such a mouthful. The rationale behind cluster 6 is looking at sort of sustainability through a balance of environmental, social and economic goals. The themes and topics are focused on transformative change of the European economy and society based at reducing environmental degradation, halting and reversing the decline of biodiversity, and better managing natural resources. So you can see that this cluster is broken down into what they call destinations, so different sections, and you can see there's a great range of subjects covered here. So we've got all the activities from sort of biodiversity and ecosystem services interventions through farm to fork type things under destination 2, going through the circular economy, bioeconomy, and the whole sort of range of activities which will support interventions to assist with the challenges that we face. Now, the details of these core topics can be found in the Cluster 6 work programme. Now, that is a 600-page document, so what I suggest is use Control F. So if you've got a keyword that you want to search on, I think put that in and use Control F to just sort of narrow down your search and what you're looking for. So we've come to the end of the 2021 calls. They closed last week, and now the 2022 calls will be opening from the 28th of October, and they will close on the 15th of February 2022. So there is opportunities for a consortium to come together to access the funding which is available here. And again, it is large scale, cooperative and collaborative partnerships coming together to access this funding. My contact details are here, and we have a UKRI website, which is a good place to start for additional information. And as I said, I'm assisted by 2 colleagues, Paul Bellow and Catherine Holt. So if you have any queries whatsoever, our telephone numbers are there and our emails are there. So please do get in touch if you'd like to discuss any opportunities around Horizon Europe. Thanks. Wendy.
Wow, Helen, that really is a massive opportunity and covers every part of the sector, really. Really insightful. So I'm sure there's been a lot of people scribbling down notes, and they're all now deep in thought as to how they can put this in practice. But don't worry, these are all available on our YouTube channel, so you can watch them back at your leisure, dip in and out. But the most important thing is we want to listen to you as the audience. So if you could take a couple of minutes to sort of write down your thoughts and maybe get in contact with us at the Agritech Eagle Labs at barclays.com email address, then we can continue to deliver topics and themes that are relevant to you. But I really want to thank Helen for this insightful session. And hopefully you'll be joining us both again for our next session, which is all around the Horizon Europe funding calls for 2022, where Helen will go a bit more into detail. So once again, thank you, Helen, and thank you everybody for joining us at home, and we hope to see you soon. Take care.